Are you ready?
Good evening, all the viewers. I'd like to welcome you to this special episode of the Range Report. Tonight we have the honour of interviewing our 4 Olympians who have just been chosen in the Australian Olympic team in the actual shooting part of the team. And it's a great honour for these 4 to be selected in the Australian team. Dan Rapicoli, of course, is up for his 5th Olympic Games when he does compete next year in the 2020 Olympics. And that's a great milestone for Dan. It's something that not very many Australian athletes or international athletes have achieved. Dina is for a 4th one. Dina did compete in Sydney, but then she was competing for her home country, which at the time was Kazakhstan. Elena is on a 2nd one. Also a great effort, first being Rio 4 years ago. And Sergey is the youngest one in the 4 that have made the team, and of course this is his first Olympics. They must be congratulated for an excellent effort they've done over the 4 years leading up to the selection trials, and even the selection trials themselves was a rather of an ordeal, having 4 selection competitions within just over a 4-week period. You've done shooting proud in Australia, and also you've made Pistol Australia very proud. Congratulations, a job well done. Thank you.
Well, thanks for those words, Ray. Great to hear from our president, Ray Andrews. Now, let's get into our interviews with our 4 Olympians who have been selected for the Australian team to go to Tokyo. Of course, due to isolation, I've had to move around a bit. I've had some bandwidth issues at home, but enjoy the different backgrounds and some of the bird noises. Well, good evening to Daniel Rapicoli, about to become a 5-time Olympian, only Australian to go to 5 or more Olympics. Congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you very much. It's a great honour.
It is a great honour. You've had a fantastic career to date. You've stated publicly that you'd like to be called an Olympic gold medalist. That's obviously your goal going to Tokyo, and maybe beyond that if you continue to shoot as well as you are?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. The goal is to go there to win. I'd like to be known for winning a gold medal, not going to 5 Olympics.
So what do you tell yourself if you could go back in time to your first Olympics with all your experience now, with 4 under your belt, 5 coming? What would you tell yourself back in the beginning?
Back in the beginning, it was a little bit different. I didn't have a family. I didn't have a lot of things that have changed my life now. So pretty much I'd just be saying to myself, enjoy it and have a good time. So, and continue on, keep going through this and you'll be okay.
You did say after 2012 in London that you were thinking about retiring, and it was your wife and your family that supported you and really encouraged you to continue, and that's got to be so crucial to your journey through here to Tokyo.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and they've been the most supportive bunch out of the whole through this whole exercise. So they and I'll keep shooting until they tell me to stop now. So there'll be no retirement plans. I'll just keep going until they've had enough of me being away.
So you talked about retiring after the 2012 Olympics in London, and it was really your wife and your family that supported you, and that's so crucial going forward through to 2020?
Yeah, that's right. Without their support, we can't do what we do. So my wife is pretty much a single mother when I'm away training and shooting all the time. So without her support, we can't go anywhere, really.
And your kids are really part of your team there. They pick out those wonderful, colourful socks you wear at a line?
Yeah, they do now. I used to just wear rainbow socks, but now the girls get to choose what I wear, so which is something exciting for them and a bit different for me.
And with lockdown now, obviously training's difficult, but it gives you another 12 months to prepare for Tokyo when it happens in July and B1. Reset your program from what you were doing 12 months ago, or are you trying to do as much as you can here now to stay active and maybe dry fire, do some exercises just trying?
So for me, I think it's a great thing that the Olympic Games has been pushed back. This is the first time that the shooting team's been announced where we have 14 months to get ready for an Olympics. So usually we've only got 3 months where the team's announced, and then we've got to get our headset right to move into the Olympics. But now we've got 14 months to get ready for that. So I've pretty much got dry firing going on at home, training at home, also training at work.
Take us through 10-metre air pistol. It's a high precision event. It's shot over 60 shots in the qualifying, and then you've got to try and make the top 8 to get to the final.
Yep, so the top 8 shooters will go into the final, and what we shoot at over 10 metres. 10 metres doesn't sound very far, which it's not, but when you're trying to shoot at the button on your shirt to hit every time, it is a long way. So that's what we try and hit every time, so to get a perfect score of 600.
Yeah, what's your averages? Where are you shooting? And I know world class is up there, 580 and above. You're up around those areas?
Right now, I'm currently in the 70s, mid-70s right now, so I've still got a little bit of work to do, but there's still a long time to go. So I've got no issues at all with knowing that my scores will be up around the 580s and mid-580s to high 590s when we need to.
And how do you deal with the pressure come finals time? It's an elimination, your number of the shots, and then it becomes the lowest eliminated until you come down to the gold, silver shoot off. How do you prepare for that kind of pressure?
It's hard to prepare because nothing you do simulates that. So all you could do is just visualize and prepare yourself mentally for anything that comes up in that event when you're in the final. So you can try and train in the same situations, but nothing really works. I have a lot of bets with myself. So I bet money and things like that. If I do it right and go through, then I get $1 or $10 or something like that. So just to try and emulate a bit of pressure.
And does having obviously your wife and your kids there in your corner supporting you help you to deal with the daily pressures of competing and motivate you to go forward?
Oh yeah, it certainly does. Like shooting well and seeing the enjoyment they got on their faces as well. Because it's not just me that's doing this. It's a big team of us. So to see the joy on their face is great. Like they love it when I come home and give them a medal and things like that. So the girls really enjoy that.
And competitive pistol shooting at the top end in Australia is very good at the moment. There's a lot of guys chipping at your heels here for selection. That's got to really push you and spur you further forward.
Yeah, it certainly does. So the more pressure I get put on myself, the better I have to be, and then the better everyone else is going to be as well. So if we can continue to push ourselves all the way through and get our scores regularly up into the 580s, that's all we can ask for. If we can do that, we're definitely world-class shooters then.
So you've got Elena Galiobovich, Dina Aspandarova and Sergei Evgleski as part of the pistol team to go to Tokyo. You guys must be very proud of yourself and obviously supporting each other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, looking forward to when the travel restrictions are lifted so we can start to do some training camps and shoots together like that. So yeah, but we do spend a lot of time together, so which is good.
And do you impart some of your knowledge and experience onto, say, Sergei, who's going to go to his first Olympics? What would you be telling him about the experience and going there? Obviously, the food hall is an amazing place to go on Olympics. You see so many world stars. It's just quite a buzz to be in Olympic Games.
The Olympic Games is honestly an amazing experience for anyone who's involved in it. And that as you brought up then, the food hall, that was the thing that amazes me the most and still does. Like, it's the biggest eater in the world, and you think of athletes going to the Olympic Games, you think they're all ripped 100-meter runners and all fit, really fit, but it's not the case. Every sport has its own size athlete that they need to be. So you see all different shapes and sizes in there, and it's an amazing thing. And the things I'd give to Serge is just go and enjoy yourself, do the job you've been training to do, and have a good time.
If you're going to pick, obviously you haven't been to Tokyo yet, out of your 4 previous Olympics, do you have a favourite? Is it one that's very special to you?
They're all special. The first one was a fantastic experience because it was in Athens, the home of the Olympic Games in Greece. That was an amazing experience. And each one from then on just had its own little thing that meant a lot to me about each one. So probably the most organised and easiest one for us was London. London was a really good Olympics. The village was nice, and it also had venues were great, and everyone spoke English perfectly, so it was nice and easy.
And you're going to have a bit of a beard challenge with Reece Howden. He's going for his 4th Olympics in water polo. You guys having a bit of a beard off at each Olympics?
So we had one last Olympics, but his wasn't anywhere near to the standard this one is now. So he's got a lot of work to do, I can tell you.
Oh, I tell you what, your beard is magnificent, and Reese has got a lot of catch up to do.
He certainly does. Well, mine's got a bit of greys coming through it now, though, but we'll see what we can do with that.
Daniel Repicoli, congratulations again on your selection to your 5th Olympic Games. Mate, best of luck going forward the next 14 months in all your training and preparation, and have a great Games.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So we're now going to speak with Dina Aspandirova, heading off to her 4th Olympics in Tokyo. Welcome to the Range Report.
Thank you. Hello.
So yourself, your journey here, you competed in back in 2000 for Kazakhstan at the Sydney Olympics. And when did you actually come to Australia?
In 2003, because my husband has got a job as a national pistol coach, and I just followed him. But I got my Australian citizenship earlier than him because of opportunity to shoot at 2006 Commonwealth Games.
You went on to 2008 and 2012 representing Australia at 2 Olympics, and now Tokyo coming up will be your 4th Olympics overall. Must be very proud, your family and yourself.
Overall, it will be my 5th Olympic Games, because I also went to 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games. I went there as a substitute shooter and did not shoot. So that's why I don't say that this is my 5th Olympic Games, but I have kind of proof my accreditation from 1996 Olympic Games.
It's a rare group of people that get to go to 5 Olympic Games. So congratulations on that. Everything up online, all the research I've done says 4. So thanks for letting us know there was 5.
Because, yeah, I don't mention it. But in shooting 4 Olympic Games, I think this is normal amount of Olympic Games because of the nature of our sport, because we can shoot as long as we can see at the distance of the stretched arm and hold 1 kilo weight.
Yeah. So you've qualified for the 10-meter air pistol. It's a high precision match. What do you take with you? You've learned over your career to take you forward through to Tokyo.
Everything. I think I will take with me what I have learned, but since nobody ever hit a score of 600 points in pistol shooting, I still have a lot to learn. So I will be going to Tokyo with the desire still to learn, to discover this mindset which allows to do a correct work in the stressful situation.
Pistol shooting it's an individual sport, even though you're part of a team that goes away to Tokyo. But the mental aspect of it, the psychological aspect of pistol shooting, do you do a lot of work in that area?
Yes, of course. Yes, meditation. I constantly think it's a shooting a match in air pistol. It's like a battleship goes through the minefield in the sea. Once wrong turn in the mine, you get into a bomb, and then there was into a mine, and there will be an explosion. So we constantly need to find the ways to get back on track. So during the match, we have to discover or use the correct strategist, correct tool, if you like, to get back on track. And over the years, I think I have collected enough tools and strategies. It's just still about figuring out which one to apply in which moment.
Yeah, obviously there's highs and lows during a match, and if you have a shot that you're not happy with, you've got to put that away. If you have a really good shot again, you can't let that joy overtake you. Adrenaline's a bit of an enemy for a pistol shooter.
But we need to learn how to be friends with adrenaline, with our pressure, that there is no real threat, so no point for adrenaline to be so high. So like kind of negotiate with your mind all the time.
And what do you do now? Obviously, you're going to have 14 months preparation going through to July next year when the Tokyo Olympics will take place. Do you reset your program, or do you continue doing what you're doing? Obviously, you can't get to the range at the moment.
Yeah, so I keep doing. I try to train same amount of trainings per week and just added more physical exercises. Yes, fortunately we can keep guns at home, so we can dry fire at home. My pistol is always set, SCAT, electronic training system is set. And what else? More physical exercises, like what? Preparing for winter.
A bit of knitting there. That's a good eye-hand
Yes,
coordination.
yes, knitting with the trick when you can put the weights, 1 kilo weights. Do you see me? Yeah, over the wrist, and
Oh,
then
weights and
it
knitting.
makes, yes, then it makes knitting a very good exercise for the wrist. Yes, so that's how I train sometimes.
Well, that's fantastic innovation. Obviously, you've got to find ways that help your particular discipline and your sport, and every athlete's looking for those little edges, and maybe knitting with weights on your hands might be the answer to take you right to the top of the tree in Tokyo.
Hopefully, yes, who knows? Yeah.
Well, it's fantastic finally having you on the Range Report, Dina. Best of luck going forward. I know the whole Pistol Australia, the whole community's behind you and the rest of the team, and hoping you go really well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So joining me now on the road, our man who will debut in the 25-metre rapid fire pistol, Sergey Evgleski. Welcome onto the Range Report.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
It must be very, very exciting when you get that phone call to say you've made the Olympic team.
Yeah, it was really good. It was awesome. It was good to know officially that I've been selected. It was a really nice feeling.
I saw on your social media there, you did a nice one with the big boarding pass and the jump in the air, showing off your excitement.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it'd be quite fun to do it. So yeah.
So going to the Olympics has been something, well, you've been part of it for a long time. Your mother is a 6-time Olympian. Is this a dream you've had since a young boy?
Definitely. It was definitely like a bucket list thing for me, for sure, because it's obviously achievable for me because everyone in my family have actually been to one. So like, working or representing a country. So I feel like I needed to go to one for sure.
No family pressure there at all. But your dad, I think, was a gunsmith at one of the Olympics.
Yeah, so he was a gunsmith at the Sydney 2000 and the 04 Olympics as well. I think that's Athens. Yeah, he was a gunsmith for both of them. And yeah, that's how we came to Australia.
Yeah, so your mum won a bronze in Sydney in 2000, competing for Belarus. And when did you guys come across to Australia?
So we were actually here before the Sydney 2000 Olympics. We moved here in 1998, but mum still represented Belarus at the time. And then once we were all good, became citizens, that's when she started representing Australia.
Right, because she did 2004, 8, 12, and 16 for the Aussie team. Would have been a nice thing. It's probably not going to happen, but to go to the Olympics with your mother competing together would have been something sensational.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been amazing. But unfortunately, it was her time to retire. She didn't want to keep going.
I said 25-metre rapid fire pistol there. It's high precision. When did you pick up a pistol and when did you start getting into the sport?
Properly getting into it, I think, about 12 or 13. But like, I picked up a pistol for the first time when I was probably like 6 or something. Like, I was just with mum at training or something like that. Obviously quite young. But to properly shoot the gun, I think I was about 12 or 13.
When did you, obviously you showed some natural aptitude and you started training. When did the dream really become alive for you that you wanted to go to the Olympics?
It would have been, honestly, in the first year of training, because when I first started shooting, I just trained for a year. I didn't do any competitions or anything like that. And then the year after, I was put on the state team straight away. And then I didn't perform well at the nationals, but just a lot of the opens I went to, I straight away went from D grade to B grade and then a couple of D grade to A grade scores. And I just thought, well, I'm actually quite good at this. I can keep training. I can actually get better and better. And then I think probably about 2 years later, before the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, is when I realized, okay, I can take this quite seriously and actually do really well.
It's obviously a natural progression as you build up through the grades and you go to international competition. You feel more comfortable being there, you get more experience. The nerves, obviously, do you suffer much from nerves?
I've got a couple of techniques that I use to help me with my nerves. For example, breathing, mental exercises and stuff. But yeah, definitely. You know, when I feel like a bit of pressure, or when I'm just in a good final, of course, yeah, everyone feels nerves, and it's just about how you battle the nerves, not about how you put them away.
What are you actually doing now? You're doing a bit of dry fire at home. The ranges are closed. Is 14 months extra before you go away to Tokyo, is that very good for your preparation?
It is, but it isn't. So, for example, yes, like, you know, an extra year is great for training, but we don't actually have the ability to go properly train at the range. So we're doing a lot of dry fire and a lot of physical, a lot of mental exercise at home, which is, you know, all great. But at the same time, to get the actual feel of shooting a gun, I think is quite important as well. So we have to wait till we can go back to the range and see what happens. But I think it's good. Like, I personally, I probably would have preferred to compete this year, because everything from the Rio Olympics for me was leading up to the 2020 Olympics. But the fact that it's only pushed a year is just something I have to deal with, you know?
Do you reset your program to what you were doing, say, 12 months ago? Because you had that Olympic cycle. You have your program set over 4 years. Do you reset to 12 months ago and then go forward from there now through? Obviously, once the ranges are open, that's the key critical you, is to be able to get out there and practice on the range.
Yeah, so I've planned it out with Vladimir, who's the national coach, of how intense we have to make our trainings now, how when to rest, and when exactly to train. So we've planned it out for the next. I think we're doing short preparations. We'll plan it out for like the next month, just to see how everything's going, and then obviously if it's getting worse in regards to lockdown, it's getting worse. If it's getting better, it's getting better. We're taking it one little step at a time.
Preparations, we hope that you can get back on the range as soon as possible and get back into normal training. And we look forward to watching you compete there in July in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, it should be really good. Thanks for support from everyone. Like, after the team got announced, I got so many messages from everyone. It was just, yeah, it was definitely great. So thank you everyone for all the support, and hopefully I can do well.
Thanks, and talk to you soon. Okay, let's move on now to Elena Galiobovic. She'll represent Australia in the women's 25-metre sport pistol. Welcome onto the Range Report, Elena.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How are you coping in isolation? Obviously, training is a bit of an issue, dry firing, maybe some fitness work, but unfortunately no time on the range.
Yeah, I guess we're all doing the best we can. We're all in the same position. I am doing some dry firing using the SCAT machine, and I've been jogging on the treadmill, so pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, at least you're getting out and doing something. But your second Olympics coming up, obviously it's nearly 14 months away now in Tokyo. How does that affect your preparation? You're studying medicine, you've got to do your work, and you've got to fit your training around it. Is that throwing your program into a bit of disarray?
Yeah, it's thrown everything in disarray. I'm sure a lot of people are in a similar position to me. I'm not studying medicine anymore, though. I've been a doctor for 5 years. This is my 6th year now. And I'd planned to do a Masters of Surgery this year, so that it was more flexible with training, given it's an Olympic year. So I wouldn't have as many contact hours, or the hours would be more flexible, that I can do at different times to facilitate the training. And I'd need to work on the side, obviously, for that, because university degree is obviously not paid. So my project's been delayed as well. And now that the Olympics are delayed, it's got me thinking, well, what do I do next year? Because I need to make sure I don't fall behind professionally as well.
Yeah, obviously you need to keep that up. You need to have a career outside of pistol shooting. It's a love, but you're certainly not going to earn a living out of it. And surgery would be closed now during COVID-19.
Surgeries are reduced. I've heard recently in the news that they're going to start reintroducing elective surgeries. I think what happens in the long term will really depend upon whether or not we have another surge, etc. So I am hoping to assist some surgeons in their private practice, and I am doing some casual work for Monash Health, the urology department there. That's where I worked all of last year. I'm doing that work from home. That's a few hours a week, and I'm available for locum and casual shifts, and they're available around the place. So doing what I can to help out. So
last year at Yarra, you collected the national title. You also set a national record. That strong form's carried through for your selection here into your second Olympic team?
It feels like nationals was so long ago. Look, a lot of things change and progress and evolve, and I've just continued to do my work and work hard and work on what is important, obviously with collaboration with my coach and other people that are part of the whole team for the athletes. So just a shout out to them, and thanks to everyone who supported me and helped out. I know they know who they are, but I'll just put out there the Victorian Institute of Sport crew and the Shooting Australia team, and of course my dad. So I'm still working hard. There's always technique to improve, and there's always things to improve. I was quite stoked with the Nationals win because I actually won both titles, and I'd won both titles 3 years in a row. So I was really happy at Nationals with that.
Yeah, it was fantastic shooting. You really did well throughout the whole tournament. Tell me, your first Olympics in Rio, what was that experience like, and how do you think that's going to help you going to your second Olympics?
Well, it was an interesting experience, of course. I think I put so much pressure on myself to perform, and I was trying to control everything, just saying to myself, oh, just do what you normally do, but doing it in a really controlling way. So I got a bit stressed out, I think, in the air pistol match, and then got a bit better in the sport pistol. Obviously, it's a remarkable experience, unforgettable experience, just competing on that line and competing with those shooters in that environment. So, I'll always cherish that moment. And with Tokyo, I'm just looking forward to seeing what that's like. I imagine it would be quite different to Rio, and especially now that we've had this COVID issue, I'm not sure if everything would be available to the athletes as it would have been planned next year, because it's very hard, obviously, to shift such a huge event a whole year. So, but I've never been to Japan, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Japan is like as well.
Yeah, part of going to an Olympics is also absorbing some of the culture from the country that you're going to. Tell me, did you walk in the opening ceremony in Rio? I mean, that must be just an amazing experience.
No, we didn't walk in the opening ceremony in Rio. Our events are very close to the beginning, so I had pre-event training the next day, and I'm sure you may have heard that opening ceremonies and events like that are a pretty long round trip, maybe 10 hours or 8 hours or so, and there's a lot of standing and waiting. So it's not really the best preparation if you've got events coming up quite soon. I don't think we'll be walking or marching in the opening ceremony in Tokyo either. I did take part in the closing ceremony. That had a really nice, friendly feel to it. All the athletes were mixed together, and it was just a big celebration. So that was obviously a great experience.
And you must be quite expert now at time management with your medical, working as a doctor, your studies previously, and then getting to the range and being an elite athlete. There's a lot involved there.
Yes, I'm quite proud of my time management skills, although sometimes I still feel that I procrastinate too much, but then I've got to remember that I do a lot and give myself a pat on the back. Maybe you can tell my dad that I've got good time management skills too.
Well, I think you're doing a fantastic job. I mean, there's not many people that can do medicine and be an elite athlete. It's a very challenging thing, and you're a sensational pistol shooter, and I hope your career continues for a long time, and you can mix that in with your medical life.
Oh, thank you very much. That's the plan.
Well, best of luck going forward to Tokyo. Obviously, the whole pistol community is right behind you. We're going to follow your journey right through to Tokyo next year. You and your three teammates, sorry. Have a great time. Train well when you get back on the range, and just be your best self when you get to Tokyo.
Thanks so much.
Well, folks, that wraps up another edition of the Range Report, a special edition to celebrate our Olympic athletes. On behalf of Pistol Australia Executive and all the state and territory bodies, and of course the whole Pistol Australia community, we join in congratulating Daniel, Dina, Sergey and Elena on their selection to the Australian Olympic team. We look forward to following their journey over the next 14 months and watching them on the line in Tokyo in July in 2021. If you like the show, please share on social media channels and like the show, and keep an eye out for this Saturday's edition of the webinar. We'll be releasing the topic very shortly. So keep an eye out for that. Join us online on Saturday afternoons when you normally be at the range. We're talking all things pistol. We've had a couple of great webinars so far. I'm Mike Westhorpe on behalf of the team. We hope you're all staying well and safe, and we hope to see you back at the range very, very soon. Bye for now.